troubles and forget your care.
Prostitutes working the woods, drug dealers working the woods.
In Seattle.
The reason people care about the heroin crisis is not because poor people were dying. Middle class and rich white kids were dying. The world got turned upside down.
Welcome to the future and all the wonders of the 21st century.
In my experience, people who have gotten clean, it doesn't happen unless you hit bottom.
Have fun with the happy-go-lucky crowd. See the fabulous city of tomorrow.
Our Seattle City Council continues, and even our mayor continues to call this a homeless crisis.
I'm King County Executive Dow Constantine, and we need Congress to recognize this for what it is, a humanitarian crisis.
It's the big thrilling adventure of a lifetime.
And what's amazing to me is that the media across the board says this is intolerable, this is awful, this shouldn't be happening, and they've all covered it. Every network, every TV station has all covered it. But the city officials, they haven't done anything.
Here at the local level, we are delivering results. In late December, I tripled the number of shelter beds at county-owned buildings in downtown Seattle.
3 years ago when I took office, the 10-year plan to end homelessness was coming to an end. And it was clear we still had significant challenges.
It wasn't an easy sell to start moving criminals straight into housing. But soon, even police got on side, chipping in funding for housing from their budget. Because police know firsthand it's expensive to keep cycling the homeless through the justice system.
Are you from Portland? Yep.
Now police watch for repeat offenders. A long rap sheet may not put you behind bars. It may put you at the top of the housing wait list.
This is a list of familiar faces, repeat offenders, people who break the laws, get caught, get released, and break the laws again and again and again. There are 100 names on the list. Scott Lindsay is the man who dived into public records and researched the list.
If we take somebody into the jail, don't give them meaningful help, and then put them right back out on the streets, we know they're going to commit the same crimes in the same places. And our public records, our criminal justice records, really show that that's exactly what's happening.
Look at the sheer volume of criminal cases. Calvin A., 68 criminal cases since 2002, repeated random assaults on random individuals. Drainin B., 54 criminal cases since 2016. Michelle C., 72 cases since 2000. And the list goes on and on. Seattle's mayor says this:
it is wrong to conflate homelessness with a rise in crime.
For at least 100 people, it would at the very least appear to be a factor.
Of the 100 that you looked at, what percentage of them were homeless?
Yeah, from our criminal justice records, 100% had indicators that they were currently homeless.
And what percent showed signs of addiction?
Yeah, 100% also showed signs of a substance use disorder.
And what percent were mentally ill?
Yeah, a little less than half had been evaluated by the courts formally for mental health conditions, serious, severe mental health conditions.
On average, the people on the list had 36 criminal cases each in the state of Washington and 7 jail bookings in the last year.
What this report also shows is that the police are working hard. They're making contacts, they're making arrests for criminal behaviors of, again, the same people in the same places over and over and over. What I think we need to focus on is what is our criminal justice system doing to support those police officers.
You said call 911. Do you understand that the police have told us to vote you all out so that they can do their jobs?
There's a lot going on here that's being actively ignored by the politicians, even the people, almost kind of a desire to just ignore the very blatant but then yet elusive reality that is a heroin epidemic disguising itself as a homeless epidemic.
Ask anyone who's been to a lot of cities around the world. They will tell you Seattle, Washington is one of the most beautiful places on this planet. It's also politically one of the most liberal. And as a direct result of that, Seattle is now a haven for homelessness and drug use. Now, a documentary by the local news station Como warns of the consequences. Normal middle-class people cannot live in Seattle anymore because the city is dying.
The city mayor doesn't give the cops' authority. That's the problem.
This is one of the most beautiful regions in the entire world, and right now, with lack of a better word, it looks like
It's infuriating. Every camp I walk into, there was a weapon. Multiple weapons. I found modified weapons. I was constantly on the side of the road talking to people that were swinging machetes.
I have not met anyone else on the street who's not in some phase of addiction. I mean, of use, of serious use. And I think that that's the starting point. You just have to address that. You have to figure that out.
Jason Rantz is a Seattle radio host and joins us tonight. Jason, that video is really stirring. Do you think it accurately depicts what Seattle's like right now?
I mean, look, if anything, it underplays exactly what's happening. In the last 10 days, there was an instance in which a mentally ill homeless man, 6'3", 270 pounds, tried to throw a woman over a highway overpass. That same exact freeway, I-5, a major freeway, just last week had a bunch of homeless people burning garbage dangerously close to a gas pipe. The Seattle Fire Department had to put out a memo saying, we're worried about the structural integrity here. And then just today, literally hours ago, in the community of Ballard, there was a homeless man who was attacking people with a crate. He hit one individual in the head. You know, they asked the question as to whether or not Seattle is dying. Not only is Seattle dying, but we've got a bunch of leaders who are letting it die. You've got a council and a mayor's office that is playing politics. They're being ideological. They go after anyone like me who happens to say, hey, maybe we should be helping these people, putting them into treatment, putting them into housing. But they say, well, we would just be inconveniencing them, that it's not compassionate to move them from site to site. I'm sorry, it's not compassionate to let them live like this. Your compassion is killing people.
And they're drug addicts. So it sounds like your mayor doesn't care about Seattle at all.
The mayor on this particular issue loves to talk about how much she cares, and that's sort of a theme going on all across the country with some progressives. They like to tell us how much they care, but they don't actually follow it up with any action. We have a governor right now who is desperately trying to become president, who's talking about how amazing Washington is, while completely ignoring that a major city in Washington, a hub for business and the economy, is dying because of a lack of leadership, and it's a shame.
In many ways, Seattle was supposed to be this place of prosperity. Seattle was supposed to be this shining beacon of what the possibilities were for your life, raising your kids, your family. This place where you can go to kind of start a new life. And it's this technological marvel of a city. Seattle, in my mind, always had this kind of loftiness to it. It's a beautiful city. It was supposed to be a city that was incredibly promising,